There we go. Perfecto. I'm just going to share my screen. Let's make sure that I'm sharing the right one. There we go. I think this is the one. Perfecto. Hopefully you can all see there that it says Spanish Immersion Experiences. Okay. So, bueno, bienvenidos. Welcome to the call. My name's Kelly Thornhill. I'm the owner of Adventures in Spanish. I've been a Spanish tutor now for over 10 years. I'm fluent to native level in Spanish and a two-time published bilingual author. There's one of my first books there in the picture. I teach over 100 students every week in a range of online and face-to-face courses. I used to live in Argentina, so I lived in South America for 20 years, but I'm now based in the UK. I'm based in Wales. While I lived in Argentina, I ran a travel agency that specialized in wine tours in a place called Mendoza, Argentina. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that beautiful part of the world. As part of my work there, I organised destination weddings and I also managed Spanish immersion trips for groups of over 30 students that were coming in from the UK. So I've got plenty of experience organising trips and I've got a lot of experience with Spanish. And I also used to home educate my own children. When we moved back from Argentina to the UK, we spent the first 6 years home educating. So I'm also familiar with the home education system. We did a lot of world schooling ourselves. So I know how this all works. I'm very experienced in it. I'd like to talk you through just some of the benefits of a, a, a Spanish immersion trip. Get your words out, Kelly. Because for some of you, this might be the first time that you're hearing about this kind of a trip. You may not have gone on one before. So the idea of a Spanish immersion trip is exactly this, so that the children or students get the opportunity to immerse themselves 24/7 in the language in Spain. And the program that I've put together, I've partnered with a language school in Malaga called Malaga, and we've put together a tailor-made learning program based on the group that is going to go each year. And I make sure that the lessons are tailored to suit all of the levels. So obviously, the bigger the group, the wider the difference in learning ability. So if there's a bigger group, we'll split the group into two, and we'll have a group for more advanced students and a group for those that are just starting to learn. One of the fabulous benefits is how much it improves the cultural intelligence for children. It helps them develop thinking in the target language, and of course, it's all about responsible travel, yeah, leaving as little a negative impact on the planet as possible while we're discovering and traveling. And the trips are also fun. The children make fabulous friendships. They do some brilliant learning, and of course, they have some wonderful, wonderful memories that they take away. So I've been running these trips for 3 years. The first one we ran in 2023. Last year was in October. And of course, we're going to be running another one this year in October. And it's going to run from the 19th to the 24th of October. So just towards the end of the year there. Why Malaga? Well, let me just check one thing. I don't think I've shared this sound on my screen. Let me just double check. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So I'd like to just run this, show you this little video. Why Malaga? Why did I choose Malaga?
Málaga es un lugar único que lo tiene todo. Una ciudad viva, con un encanto especial, donde pasear, vivir, disfrutar. No cabe duda, lugares como este enamoran. Málaga, ¿dónde mejor?
Well, if you've ever been to Malaga, you will know for yourself why I chose it. It's absolutely one of the best things that I've found about Malaga, the city of Malaga, is that you have many, many, many opportunities to practice your Spanish. The Costa del Sol might have a bit of a reputation for being very Brits abroad and a lot of English being spoken, but in the city centre itself, there is a lot of Spanish. In fact, whenever I've been, I've heard a lot more Spanish than I have English. In the cafes, in los restaurantes, the children get the opportunity to be able to speak to the waiters and to the staff in Spanish. And this was one of the reasons that I decided that Malaga was going to be the place that I was going to run these trips to. And just to give you an overview of the program, we arrive on Sunday. On Sunday afternoon, we meet up with our families that we're going to be staying with. If you're taking part in the homestay program, you'll meet your family on Sunday afternoon. Then the rest of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, is all about the learning. So in the morning, we have Spanish classes. Then we have a break for lunch. And in the afternoon, we have our activities that we take part in together as a group. And these are all in Spanish. As a group, we visit the centre of Malaga and the Alcazaba. We have a hands-on cooking class, an interactive cooking class. We have sports on the beach. And on the Thursday afternoon, we have free time. And that's spent doing whatever it is that the children want to do, whether they want to go and do some more shopping, they want to spend some more time in La Playa, on the beach, doing some swimming. It's completely up to them. Usually in the evenings, there's free time as well to meet up for churros and chocolate caliente, or to spend some time on the beach playing and swimming. So there's plenty of time to enjoy. It's not all just about the learning. There's lots of opportunities for the children to practice their Spanish in the real life situations throughout the week. On Friday, that's our departure day. Okay, so let me run through the classes with you because, of course, the main reason that we're going to Malaga is to learn Spanish. These are a couple of photos from the trip last year. We learn Spanish in the morning. And the group will be it will be split, like I mentioned, into two. So we'll have a more advanced group and a group for beginners. Classes start at 9 o'clock and they finish at about 1 o'clock. But what happens is we have 2 hours in the classroom. So this will be classroom-based learning. And then we have a little break. You can see here on this photo, this is one of the cafes that is opposite the language school. The children get the opportunity to go there on their break, order their snacks in Spanish, all sit together and get to know each other. And this is where they form their friendships. And then after break, we go out and about in the local community to practice our Spanish. And that could be taking a questionnaire over to the park and asking. This was a fabulous activity last year. I know the children really enjoyed it. Taking a questionnaire over to the park and asking people in the park things that they know about Malaga and about Spain. We go to the Mercadillo, which is a local pop-up market where they go and they can buy things and they can interact and they do all of that in Spanish. One of the other things you can see here, we go up down onto the beach and we do some drawings and learn to describe things in Spanish. So the work that we do, the learning that takes place in the classroom, first thing, we then get to put it into practice as a group with the teacher, with myself, out and about in the local community. It's absolutely fabulous. It's just such a wonderful way for the children to be able to practice what they're learning. The adult program, I'm very pleased to be able to run this again. Oh, let me just let somebody else into the waiting room now. The adults program runs alongside the program for children. So adults lessons will run in the same building. Oh, hi there, Joanna. Hello. Nice for you to join us. Hola. I'm
Hi.
just running through the presentation at the moment. I'm recording this at the moment. So if you'd like to turn your camera off and then pop it back on again at the end of the call, and I'll be available to answer any questions. Okay. So I was just running through the lessons for adults, which I was saying that they run parallel to the lessons for children. So they take part in the same building. The children's lessons will take part in a couple of the classrooms, and opposite will be where we have the adults classes. Again, they start at 9 in the morning and they finish at around 1 o'clock. And the lessons are more intense, but on the Monday, you'll get a full 4 hours of classroom-based learning. And then on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'll do a couple of hours in the classroom and then a couple of hours out and about with the rest of the group. So you can practice, you can do the questionnaire with the locals, you can go to the Mercadillo, and you can do it there while you've got the tutor support to be able to help if you want to ask certain questions and understand how the grammar works. Again, for adults, it's slightly different than with the children. With the children don't need to take a test before we put them into a group. I will decide whether the children are beginners or more advanced learners. With the adults, however, if you're thinking about taking part in the adults' lessons, you'll be sent an online quiz to do, like a test, so we can determine whether you're A1, A2, B1, B2, what level you're at, so that we can make sure that you're in the right learning group for your ability. Okay, and here's a little video about the language school in Malaga. These are the classrooms. This is the language school. You can see it's right opposite the beach. Brand new facilities. This has just been refurbished last year. Classrooms on either side. It's a really friendly environment, really bright. The staff are fabulous. The teachers are absolutely fabulous. And it's all in Spanish. Okay. I decided to partner with this language school in particular because of the quality of the teaching, the location of the school. It's literally right opposite the beach. And the staff, the way that we are always received and the attention that we get as a group, I'm really, really pleased with it. We've never had any issues at all in the 3 years that I've been running these. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. So we've learned a little. You've learned a little bit now about what goes on in the morning in terms of the Spanish lessons. You've seen a little bit about the language school, but what happens in the afternoon? So in the afternoon, one of the activities that we take part in as a group is we have a guided walk through the centre of Malaga, and we go to the Alcazaba. The great thing about this is that we have our tutor. So the tutor from the teacher from the language school guides this trip, and all of the learning and all of the interaction is all in Spanish. So the children aren't just getting the lessons in the morning and the activities where we're out and about after that. In the afternoons as well, they have that experience and that one-to-one and that conversation with their Spanish teacher and myself while we're visiting and walking around the city of Malaga. It's quite incredible. This is one of the photos from the first year. This is some of the students that came along, and this was a stop off at one of the plazas. Another thing that we have it's been the highlight as well of the trip. I mean, the whole trip is just so fabulous, is the cooking class. So we have a cooking class with a professional chef. And again, the class is all in Espanol. So you might be thinking, crikey, I don't know if I'll be able to manage, if it's all in Espanol, but don't worry, because I'm there. And then there are staff at AI Malaga on hand as well. And we make paella, we make tortilla de patata and pan tucumán. And the children, it's very hands-on. As you can see in these pictures, it's very hands-on. The children are learning the verbs cortar, they're learning the words for the diferentes verduras and frutas. They're learning how to work together, how to cook, cómo cocinar el arroz, how to cook the rice, all the different types of ingredientes that need to go in to the food. It's great. And the games on the beach. So one of the days we have games on the beach with a professional sports coach. And this came about because the first year, there's a lot of volleyball that gets played in Malaga along the beach. And the children saw it the first year and said, Kelly, we really want to do that. So I spoke to IE Malaga and they arranged for us to do this. And I think this was one of the highlights as well for the children, learning how to play volleyball on the beach with a professional sports coach. I mean, it was just fabulous. It was such good fun. What do we do in our free time? Okay, so we have a lot of organised activities, but it's also important that the children have the opportunity to explore Malaga themselves as well. So To make sure that they have some free time, I don't include a visit to the Picasso Museum in this trip anymore. So what you can do is you can arrange and you can book directly with the Picasso Museum and go and visit the museum. I mean, it is a fabulous learning opportunity, and if it was something that all of the children wanted to do once we were there, that would be something that I could organise. There's other things like the Caminito del Rey, the Malaga Catedral, El Centro Pompidou, Gibraltar Castle. I don't do that anymore either because it took up a lot of time in the afternoon and it was a lot of walking for the children. It is a fabulous, fabulous trip to do. But we kind of thought that the children wanted to spend more time on the beach, in the water. Or going to the mercado. This was a fabulous thing. We did this on the Friday morning. We visited the mercado. The children had some jugos. We had some tapas, some calamaris and things. It was a fabulous experience for them on the Friday. But this is open. So this is open. So on the Thursday afternoon they have free time, and on the Friday morning as well. Okay, so accommodation. So the main program that I'm offering is the homestay program. So that means that children get to stay in with a local Spanish family. It's full board accommodation, and we can fit up to 3 children with each family. So this could be 3 individual children, it could be a family group, or it could be friends. It works really well, and families are located within the same neighbourhood as the language school. So if you can just see this map here, where this kind of round person is here, this is where the language school is. So you can see that it's literally just 11 minutes walk. One of the children where they stayed last time was just 11 minutes walk from the language school, because it's important that in the morning when the children get up, they make their own way to the language school to meet us there at 9 o'clock for the lessons. Nobody goes to pick them up. That's their responsibility. And then after the lessons, when the lessons finish at lunchtime, they go back and they have some downtime. And then, of course, in the evenings, they're usually home back at their homestay family by about 9 o'clock, 9:30, something like that. All families are vetted by the language school, and they're all experienced at hosting international students. I've got some documents that I can send out to anybody who would like some extra information about that. And like I said, it's full board, so meals are included. So breakfast, they get a packed lunch, and the evening meal is included as well. On Friday, which is our departure day, the children have their breakfast and then they're sent with a picnic for their departure. So it's pretty cool. It's a fabulous experience for them. If we're traveling as a group, we travel together from Liverpool Airport, and we travel out on the Sunday morning so that we arrive in Malaga by the Sunday lunchtime. Once we get to Malaga, I make sure that we're all there as a group, and then we travel by public transport into where the language school is, and that's where we meet our host family. Families that are making their own arrangements are welcome to just make their own accommodation arrangements and then meet us at the language school on the first day. I've had some messages from families whose children haven't done this kind of thing before, and they're thinking about traveling over with the child and handing the child over to me when we arrive on the Sunday for the homestay, but then staying themselves locally. This has worked really well for some families in the past. So for a child that's maybe not taken part in anything like this before, who hasn't been abroad on their own before, that could be an option to fly over with them, to meet us, to hand the child over, and then to go and have a child-free week yourself in Malaga, and then meet us again on the Friday. So here are the prices. All these prices exclude flights. So for the full homestay program, so that's full board accommodation, accommodation and full board. It includes the Spanish lessons in the morning and the afternoon activities. It includes transport, public transport while we're there during the week, and of course I'm there and available 24/7 for the child. That's £830 per person. Spanish lessons and activities. This is if you're traveling over as a family and you want your child to take part in the Spanish lessons and the activities, but they're going to be staying with you. That's £395. If you're planning on traveling as a family and your child is just going to take part in the Spanish lessons in the morning and they're not interested in taking part in the afternoon activities, well, that's £275 per person. And to join in with the activities in the afternoon, that's usually for parents. So the child will usually take part in the whole programme, and the parent might want to join us for the cooking class or the city tour or sports on the beach. That's £85 per person. And for the adults that want to take part in the Spanish lessons, again, it's the same price as the children. It's £275. And that includes the Spanish lessons. And for the adults, it also includes the Spanish booklet with all of the grammar and all of the exercises that you'll be doing. The only additional price to this is €10, £10 cancellation insurance, and that's it. And of course, any additional insurance or your flights that you're going to be paying for yourselves. So that's that. What are your next steps? So your options are to book a place with a 30% deposit. You can, if you know straight away that that's what you want to do, then that's brilliant. You can just pop me an email and we can get that set up. If you'd like to discuss in more detail at the end of this call, you can arrange a 15-minute call with me and we can go through it together and we can answer any of your questions. Or if you're thinking that maybe this isn't right for you at the moment, keep the trip in mind for 2026. I will be running this trip again next year. I'm hoping to add another destination in as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording now and open up for questions. So just bear with me while I work out how to stop recording. I think I have to stop share and then stop